few days later, word had spread through Hyrule that Link and I just had a baby. When the king heard that Link had a son, he was just delighted. He was going to have a blessing ceremony for the baby when I was well enough to get out of bed. Link spent the time I was in bed caring for me and our son. For the first few days, we were keeping little Link in the room with us. It was safer and easier when he needed to be fed. Since I was breastfeeding him, it was not much for me to get up and get him out of his cradle. There was the chair in the corner for me to use during feeding time.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
I was surprised that for the most part Link Jr. slept through most nights, but there were a few times when he cried in the middle of the night to be changed or fed. But I was glad to have this little miracle. He was my pride and joy. I finally had a family to call my own. When I was well enough to leave the bed, we sent word to the royal family that I was ready. 2 days later, we had the blessing ceremony. The king had everyone in Hyrule attend. He wanted everyone to meet the hero of time's firstborn son.
Boy.
Also, his name was to be announced to everyone after he was blessed. The sun was bright as I walked out of the Lost Woods and onto Hyrule Field. I was carrying Link Jr. in my arms. Link walked at my side as we went. I watched as little Link giggled when he saw the sun. This is the outside world, my son. Look!
Already Koridai is returning to harmony,
I said, as I held him so he was facing Hyrule Field. He giggled and his little eyes lit up as he saw the new outside world. I smiled at Link as he giggled. He is so beautiful, my love. He is the best gift you ever gave me, I said as I looked into his blue eyes. Link leaned over and kissed me, smiled, then put his arm around me. When we reached the castle gates, Princess Zelda, Impa, and the king were there to greet us. We were taken to the castle courtyard where everyone was waiting to meet the son of the hero of time. There was a lot of bustle as people waited to see the son of Link and Jenna. I looked from behind the archway and saw that the sages had attended, and to my surprise, even Princess Ruta was there. Even the Zora and Goron races attended to see this blessed event. I cuddled our son as I waited for the king to announce us. Link smiled when our little son looked up at him, smiled big, and giggled. I saw Link's face just light up when I handed our son to him. I nearly cried as I watched Link cuddle our little miracle. Little Link meant as much to me as his father. My whole world revolved around them. They were my life. I listened as the king made his speech. Then we were announced. I looked into my love's eyes and told him it was time to bless our son. Link handed Link Jr. to me, and we went to show all of Hyrule the son of a legend. I held the tiny baby gently in my arms as we walked out to greet all of Hyrule. Then, as we walked out, a loud cheer rose from the awaiting crowd. Zelda played her lullaby. As I prepared our little son to be held high, when she finished, the king spoke once more. My people, this is a time of blessing. A new life has entered our world, a life born by Hyrule's legend. Once a boy of destiny left the forest and became a man. He entered the Temple of Time and pulled the Master Sword from its resting place. Thus he became the hero of time. His destiny became Hyrule's salvation. His bravery saved us from a life of darkness. Then, with his duties completed, he found and took a wife. Now that hero and his wife have been blessed with a new baby boy. I now present the hero of time, Link, his wife Jenna, and their new son. Then the king smiled at us and gave us way. I handed our son to Link and we walked forward to where all of Hyrule could see our new son. I stood by Link's side as he looked down over all of Hyrule. I, Link, the hero of time, present our new son, Link the Second, he yelled, as he held our son up high for all of Hyrule to see. A loud cheering rose from the people of Hyrule as Link held our son up high.
Baby!
I smiled as everyone cheered. I felt happy. This was truly a special time in our little son's life. After our son was presented, it was time for our son to be blessed. Rauru the Light Sage was awaiting with the other sages to bless our son first. He walked up to little Link and put his hands on his head. Link the second, son of the Hero of Time, was born under a legend and will grow up in his father's image to help guide and protect him in his journey through life. We, the 6 sages, each bestow a gift upon thy little one. I, Rauru the Light Sage, bestowed the gift of courage upon thee. Rauru's hands began to glow as he gave the gift of courage to our son.
My gift shall be the gift of beauty.
Completed, Saria the Forest Sage was next to bestow her gift. I, Saria the Forest Sage, bestow the gift of friendship upon thee. Saria placed her hands on Link Jr.'s tiny head and bestowed her gift. Next was Daurina. I, Daurina the Fire Sage, bestow the gift of power upon thy brother. With his big Goron hands, he gently placed them on the tiny baby's head and shared his gift with him. Then, reluctantly, Ruto walked over to our son to bestow her gift. I, Ruto the Water Sage, bestow the gift of love upon thee. She placed her gentle fish-like hands in our son's forehead and gave him her gift. Next was Impa. I, Impa the Shadow Sage, bestow the gift of wisdom upon thee. Then the Sheikah gave our son another beautiful gift. And last was Naburu, the Gerudo. She walked over to the cradle where our son was lying. She peered into the cradle and smiled at the little infant. You truly look like your father, she said as she placed her hands on his small head. I, Naburu the Spirit Sage, bestow the gift of compassion upon thee. Then the final gift was given. Next, Princess Zelda came to bestow her personal gift. She gently placed her hands on our baby's head and gave him the most special gift. I, Princess Zelda, bestow the most important gift of all, the gift of knowledge. I watched as her gentle hands began to glow. Then an aura of white light surrounded the tiny baby as the gift of knowledge was given. Once completed, the white aura faded, and Rauru spoke once more. With these gifts, Link the Second shall be guided through the Valley of Life. He is truly one special child of destiny. I held Link tight as I watched our little son get his final blessing. A tear of happiness ran down my cheek as I thought of what beautiful gifts were given to our special little son. Our son was truly a descendant of my Hero of Time. After the blessing was complete, our final place for Link Jr. to receive a gift was from the great Deku Tree. After some final words, Link and I took our son and headed for Kokiri Forest. Saria came with us. Once we arrived at the great Deku Tree, he awoke from his slumber. Ah, Link and Jenna, I have been expecting thee. Come and sit. As we sat down in the grass, this little Link giggled and reached for a butterfly that fluttered near his head. I see thou have had thy firstborn. As promised, I give thee a special gift. I watched as a small glowing light flew over to us. Then I noticed it was a fairy. A fairy for our son! This truly is the best gift of all! I thought to myself. As the small blue fairy flew around our son, he giggled and tried to reach for her. Hello, my name is Aria. Nice to meet you, the fairy said as she fluttered in a circle around our little son. I smiled as the young fairy played with Link Jr. Then I looked into Link's eyes. He saw a tear run down my face as I smiled. Our son truly is very special. He is our little miracle! I laid my head on Link's shoulder as he stroked my right arm. Our son was very special indeed. He was the son of a legend. My friends, if you enjoyed this exhibit and you want to support the Mutant Museum, please do consider donating, either on Ko-fi or as a regular Patreon supporter like all of these amazing people, particularly Break System BSE, Michael Fittori, and Zachary Snowden-Smith, and you'll be able to see your own name up here on the very next video for as little as $1 a month. Please also consider following me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Check out my ebooks, there's links to all these in the description, and thanks for being you.